And now to reveal my English Country Cottage bedroom makeover using thrift store finds. Sorry, just kidding. You'll have to wait till the end of the video for that because I have a bunch of projects to share with you first. So, let's get started. In case you didn't see last week's video, I'm using this china plate as the inspiration for my English Country Cottage bedroom makeover. Imitating the plate, I painted my walls in a creamy white paint in an eggshell finish, and I painted my baseboards and fireplace a shade darker in a semi-gloss finish. Last week, I added many of the quintessential elements of English cottage style to my bedroom. I'll be adding even more today, starting with patterns. I love antique Delft tiles, but they are way out of my price range, so I decided to make my own. I printed out images of some of my favorite patterns, mostly birds and flowers. I applied Mod Podge to a 14-cent 4x4 ceramic tile and adhered the image. Make sure that you print out the image a little larger than the size of your tile so that you'll have a little extra paper to fold over the edges. When the Mod Podge was dry, I went over the top with Mod Podge Hard Coat, but you could just apply 2 or 3 coats of the regular Mod Podge. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to like this or not, I attached the tiles with Gorilla Hot Glue sticks. I would have liked for the tiles to butt up against each other, but because I don't have a tile cutter, I had to spread them out evenly with gaps in between the tiles. Rather than use grout, I went around each tile with caulk in an almond color to better match the paint and the color of the tiles. If these were authentic antique Delft tiles, it would have cost me about $10,000 to tile this fireplace, but instead it cost me less than $10. I absolutely adore how it turned out, so I sure hope that Gorilla Hot Glue holds up. I'll keep you posted. Fabric lampshades are another element that are commonly found in English cottage style. I had these brown and orange lampshades in my basement that I wasn't using, and they were the perfect size for my bedroom lamps. When I cut and tore the fabric off, the lampshade came apart. I hadn't realized it, but the fabric was what was holding the entire thing together. I measured the body piece and then cut a piece of fabric that was 1 inch wider and 2 inches longer. I folded the edges of the fabric over about a half an inch and pressed it in place with my iron. I sprayed the plastic shade with spray adhesive and then adhered my piece of fabric, smoothing out any wrinkles as I went. I rolled the shade in a circle and reattached the 2 ends using hot glue. Then I hot glued my folded end of fabric over the seam. I inserted the top metal ring into the shade, and I began applying hot glue to the top edge of my fabric and folding it over the ring. Once the top of the shade was secured, I inserted the metal ring in the bottom of the lamp and repeated the process. I had some blue velvet ribbon left over from Christmas that I decided to hot glue along the bottom edge of the shade. This step was unnecessary, but I hot glued some bias tape that I had along the inside top edge, just to give it a cleaner, more finished look. I struggled finding fabric that I liked for this project. I like this pattern, but the colors are too bright, and I wish that I had tried to fade the fabric before making the lamp. For additional lighting in my bedroom, I decided to hang a thrifted chandelier. Although pretty, the plastic beads made it look more glam than English Cottage, so I took them off. I also removed all of the pieces used to hang the chandelier from the ceiling. I removed some links from the chain to attain my desired length, and then I re-threaded the wire through the chain. I ordered this lamp cord kit from Amazon, which easily converts a hardwired light fixture into a plug-in fixture. You simply wrap the wires from your light fixture around the wires on the cord and plug off each set of wires. I also wrapped mine with some black electrical tape. I drilled a hole in the ceiling where I wanted to hang the chandelier. If your light fixture is heavy, you'll want to make sure that you drill into a stud. I just put a plastic anchor into my hole and screwed in a ceiling hook. I attached my chain to the hook and then ran my cord behind a drape and plugged it into the nearest outlet. I can't decide if I should add more chain to cover up the cord, or maybe add a fabric cord cover. What do you think? When I started this makeover, I knew I wanted to create a lot of book storage, and I had some 1990s oak bookcases in the basement that I was just using for storage that I thought might just work. You might remember these from my hot mess craft room makeover video. The rounded trim pieces along the outer edge were really dating the bookcase. So using a mallet and a small crowbar, I was able to remove all of the rounded trim. Then, using my miter saw, I cut 4 pieces of stop molding that I had purchased. The molding needed to cover 2 bookshelves cost less than $15. I attached the molding with wood glue and small brad nails. This little electric stapler also shoots 5/8 inch brad nails, which is great for small jobs like this. I filled in all of the cracks with some caulk, and then I cleaned the bookshelf really well with some liquid sandpaper. I painted the bookshelf with the same semi-gloss paint that I used on the fireplace and on the baseboards in my bedroom. I love using the small rollers for jobs like this, and then just brushing in the cracks and creases where the roller doesn't reach. I always wrap my roller and brushes in saran wrap between coats so that I don't have to wash them out until I'm completely done. I put one bookcase on either side of the bed behind the nightstands. Then I began the fun part, staging the shelves. The books are the most important element, and so I put them on the shelves first. Then I lean artwork against the back in any large empty spots. Then I add my largest decor items, like the plate and corbel on this bookshelf or the baskets on this bookshelf. As I was styling the shelves, I made sure to add plenty of vintage items, like the book set from my childhood and a set of McCoy vases that had belonged to my mother. I also thrifted this vintage-looking bird cage for $4 and this floral gold frame for $1 and this beautiful brass bowl for only 97 cents. Here's how my bookshelves looked once I added all the small decor items and some fake flowers and plants. Because the bottom 2 shelves are hidden by the nightstands, I put magazines and some unattractive books in bright colors on those shelves. In last week's video, I created some wallpaper-looking panels for my bedroom wall, but I decided I wanted to add a little wallpaper to one of the bookshelves too. I had some of the wallpaper left over from when I wallpapered my mudroom, and I decided to apply it over an old rooster sign that I wasn't using anymore. I covered the sign with spray adhesive and then adhered a piece of the wallpaper that I had cut out to size. I then used a utility knife along the edges to cut off any extra paper. Then I went along the edges with some caulk to give it a clean look. I really like how this piece adds color and pattern to the back of this bookshelf. In true English Country Cottage style, there should be something a little bit ugly in every room. And some of you said I couldn't count my lamp because it wasn't ugly after last week's makeover. Well, there's no debating that a gargoyle is ugly, and I found a broken one, the wings and the head, for $16 at a consignment store. I think the wings look like butterfly wings when propped up on their own. English cottage style demands lots of traditional framed artwork. I thrifted these 2 wooden plaques for $1 each and hung them next to one of the bookcases. I used a level to draw a vertical line so that I could hang the 4 butterfly pictures that I made in last week's video next to the other bookcase. I really love how these look hung vertically. To create a gallery wall with my other butterfly pictures, I just arranged them on the floor next to the wall where I plan on hanging them. I superglued a D-ring to the back of a butterfly coaster, and I'm hanging it up too. I didn't want them in a perfect grid, so I hung them somewhat haphazardly to give it that collected and added to over time look. I knew if I wanted a truly English cottage look that I would need to add some brown furniture to my bedroom. And for it to look cohesive, I decided to include 3 pieces of brown furniture. I already had the 2 small tables, but I thrifted this Ed Roos cedar chest for $45. Couldn't find an exact match online, but here's a similar cedar chest. Cottage furniture usually has very simple hardware, usually made of brass or wood. My dresser already had very simple black knobs, but I thought I better change out the silver knobs on the closet doors. Luckily, I had some nice wood knobs in my stash that I had taken off an old piece of furniture some time ago. I want to paint the closet doors green and in fact have already purchased the paint, but just the change of knobs is a huge improvement for now. And now it's finally time for the bedroom reveal. I hope you enjoyed today's video. You'll have to let me know what you think of my bedroom makeover. And thank you all for the wonderful suggestions that you left me after last week's video, especially regarding how to address the awkward window behind my headboard. You guys came up with so many great ideas, and I'm actually not done with that window. There's one more project that I want to do, but I ran out of time. So I'll have to include an update in an upcoming video when I get it completely done. This week, a very sweet young man named Connor contacted me to let me know that 3 generations of his family enjoy watching my channel: his grandmother, his mother, and his sister. So hello, Mary Thomas, Crystal Harris, and Samantha Harris. I am so pleased that you can all watch my videos together. And now to announce the winners of the IOD paint inlays. If you see your name on the screen, please email me so I can get a package of the inlays mailed off to you. My email is listed under the About tab on my channel homepage. Well, that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great week. See you next Tuesday. Bye-bye for now.